Good day, friends. It's Mikey Glove Save. And Mikey Glove Save has WNBA Playoff Round 2 picks for that ass. Now, Sunday didn't go too well, did it? We did pretty good with the New York versus Phoenix game, but other than that, things, they didn't go too well. And that's okay, because as I said when I gave you these on Saturday, sometimes you got to pull your balls out of your mom's purse, and that's what Mikey Glove Save did. He made some educated swings, and he swung and missed. That's okay. We gathered some data, and now we're going to reach into that purse. We're going to reach deep into that purse, and we're going to pull those balls out of that sumbitch, and we're going to win some WNBA bets today, baby. Now, listen, Mikey Glove Save has a lot of plays in the first game, and Mikey Glove Save gets out early today because he's got shit to do. So I'm going to post my Game 2 Vegas versus Seattle picks on the tweeter machine. For now, let's do Atlanta versus Indiana. Mikey Glove Save is going to start off the Atlanta-Indiana party off with Naz Hillman. We're going to invest in her a little bit today. We're going to start off with the point prop over 8.5 points minus 130 on FanDuel. She just cleared this with ease, scoring 16 against Indiana on Sunday. And this is where you say Mikey Glove Save is the degenerate gambler recency bias guy. Yeah, because she has not played very well against Indiana so far this year for some reason. And let's take a look. Back on May 20th, she had 5 minutes of playing time, got 3 points. May 22nd, 5 minutes of playing time, 4 points. June 10th, 25 minutes, 2 points, and July 11th, 23 minutes, 3 points. Now, I'm not aware of all the circumstances which contributed to these low-scoring, low-minute games for her, but we also have to keep in mind that she was playing a fully loaded Indiana with Caitlin Clark, with Sophie Cunningham. Sophie, by the way, I'm sorry, I owe you an apology. I'm sure you've heard about me and Rakia by now. You're still very special to me, and I miss you. Also, Arie McDonald and Sydney Colson were in, all of whom are out today as they were on Sunday. Now, as her minutes crept up over the course of the season, her first game with 30-plus minutes was on July 29th. And after that, she has gotten 30-plus minutes over the course of the rest of the season. She has cleared this line more often than not. This Sunday being a perfect example of that. So I took her over points, over 8.5, Naz Hillman, minus 130 on FanDuel. We're not done with Naz yet, because if you look at the stats, her rebounds and her assists follow a similar trend. So her rebound prop, Daddy's taking over 7.5, plus 110 on FanDuel. She just had 9 versus Indiana on Sunday. And over 2.5 assists, minus 115 on Fanatics. She just cleared this on Sunday. Actually has cleared this in the last 3 games in a row versus Indiana. So we got Naz Hillman over 8.5 points, over 7.5 rebounds, and over 2.5 assists. Ryan Howard, over 21.5 points and rebounds, minus 130 on BetMGM, 70% hit rate in the last 10 games, 80% in the last 5. She just cleared this versus Indiana on Sunday with 26. Now, this line was also at FanDuel, and Mikey Glove Save was going to go place that bet, and right before he hit that button, it moved up to 22.5. So, being that FanDuel is the sharper of the player prop sports books, and you got Mikey Glove Save taking a look at this, and we're on the same page, I think that tells you that we got some value here. So, Ryan Howard, over 21.5 points and rebounds, minus 130 on BetMGM. We're not done with Ryan yet. Over 2.5 three-pointers made, minus 114 with the boost on Fanatics. Originally, it was minus 130. We all know that she is just a three-point nuke bomb dropping machine. She has only missed this line 2 out of 10 games over the course of the past 2 years versus Indiana. She just sunk 4 out of 10 attempts on Sunday. Ryan Howard, over 2.5 three-pointers, minus 114 with the boost on Fanatics. Brianna Jones, under 6.5 rebounds, plus 110 on Fanatics. You can get that same price on many other books as well. She just went under this with 5 versus Indiana on Sunday. Now, my Pick Finder app has her projected at 54.9% likelihood to go over this. Now, I think it should be more like 50-50. And no, I don't claim to be smarter than a computer, but just hear me out here. She cleared this 3 of 6 times versus Indiana this year. Those 3 times were much earlier in the year, late May, early June, and the last time they played Indiana was on July 11th. She only had 3. Now, I think this projection is higher to go over because of those early season games. Otherwise, she has a 40% hit rate over the last 5 and 10 games, 47% over the last 15. She comes under this more often than not. I think that to get this at plus money is not a bad look. Brianna Jones, under 6.5 rebounds, plus 110. All right, it's a very busy afternoon in the family of the glove saves, and Mikey Glove Save's running out of time. But we're going to finish this off from the pimp wagon of the glove save here, because these are some bitchin' plays, and I got to get them out to the disciples. Alicia Gray, under 1.5 3-pointers, plus 120 on DraftKings. We're getting a 10-cent price advantage on this. 40% hit rate in the last 5 games, but 60% in the last 10. However, not only did she come up short with this versus Indiana on Sunday, she's only cleared this line once out of 6 games this year versus Indiana. That one game being back on May 20th. Indiana is second in preventing 3 points to guards. However, Ryan Howard is the only exception in my book. Alicia Gray under 1.5 3-pointers, plus 120 on DraftKings. Kelsey Mitchell over 19.5 points, minus 119 on Caesars, 60% hit rate over the course of the last 5 to 15 games. She just cleared this on Sunday versus Atlanta with 27, and last time they played Atlanta was July 11th, and she cleared this with 25. This has been cleared 3 of the past 6 games versus Atlanta this year. And she's clearly the one mainly filling the void in the midst of all the injuries on Indiana, who are all also guards. Atlanta is first in preventing points to guards, but you know what Mikey Glove Save is going to say, I don't give a fuck. And one more for old Kelsey here. I'm going to take her under 2.5 3-pointers, minus 115 on DraftKings. FanDuel has this favored to the under at minus 145, so we are getting some value here. 40% hit rate in the last 5 games, 30% in the last 10. She has only hit this 1 out of 4 attempts on Sunday versus Atlanta, but also she has a bad history with 3-pointers versus Atlanta, clearing this once out of the past 6 times they've played this year. Atlanta is first in preventing 3-pointers to guards, as well as first in preventing attempts. This doesn't seem to apply to Kelsey in the point prop area, but it does in the 3-pointers. So I have no idea how this is set at 2.5. Kelsey Mitchell under 2.5 3-pointers, minus 115 on DraftKings. Jordan Canada under 10.5 points, plus 102 on FanDuel. Mikey Glove Save has no clue why this is set at 10.5. Maybe you guys could tell me. We just cashed the under on this Sunday versus Indiana. She only scored 2 points. 0% hit rate in the last 5 games. 40% hit rate in the last 10. She did clear this her first game back from injury versus Connecticut on August 1st, and she hasn't cleared it since. She's had 10 points, 4 points, 6 points, 4 points, and 2 points. She just hasn't been producing near as much as she was before the injury. Jordan Canada, under 10.5 points, plus 102 on FanDuel. Aaliyah Boston, under 14.5 points, minus 115 on BetMGM. Another great price advantage here. It's minus 128 on FanDuel. 0% hit rate in the last 5 games. 30% in the last 10 and 33% in the last 15. She only had 8 versus Indiana on Sunday. I think the only reason this is set at 14.5 is because she did clear this on July 11th versus Atlanta with 19 and on May 20th with 24. But other than that, those are the only 2 of the past 6 games this year where she's cleared it versus Atlanta. The remaining games, she scored 9, 4, 7, and 8. Aaliyah Boston, under 14.5 points, minus 115 BetMGM. Natasha Howard, under 11.5 points, minus 125 on BetMGM. Very small price advantage here, just by 5 cents. 40% hit rate in the last 5 games, 30% in the last 10, 33 in the last 15. Of the 5 games out of the last 15 which she cleared this were against all Dookie teams. Chicago, Connecticut twice, Golden State, who's borderline Dookie, and Dallas. Natasha Howard, under 11.5 points, minus 125 on BetMGM. And, of course, we got a small Lamb Master B SGP for that ass. This one's going to be on Sleeper. Lexi Hall, under 1.5 3-pointers, and Jordan Canada, over 2.5 rebounds. This is why I'm doing it on Sleeper. That Canada prop is only available on there. So it's Hull under 1.5 3-pointers, Jordan Canada, over 2.5 rebounds for the mini Landmaster B SGP. That does it for Game 1. Stay tuned to Twitter so you can get the Game 2 props coming later tonight. Mikey Glove Save out.